It's freaking cold this morning. It got down to almost 0. And also I've heard that there might be snow in Vancouver this week, and better not, but we'll see. It's 6:40, almost 6:50, I think, and I'm on my way to the gym. I'll be totally honest. I talk about like getting movement in a lot because I think it's really important, like genuine. I mean, I know it's really important, but like today, it's kind of the last thing that I want to do. I really don't want to go to the gym. But at the same time, I know if I start my day like this, I'll just feel so much better when I sit down to get my work done. I know I'll have less restless energy. I'll feel better. My body will be awake. And I just like have to believe that it will help my writing and the work that I need to get done today. So we're going to the gym. We're powering through. I'm going to turn on the car so that I can warm it up in here a little bit. I did it. I went to the gym. I even made myself a beautiful, healthy breakfast. I had my work meeting. I feel so tired. I've really been like struggling with sleep again lately, which I don't know. Sometimes I just have periods where I don't sleep as well. It doesn't help that on a few days ago, I started reading Fourth Wing because I had told myself that I was going to read it, but I had kind of been holding off because I just wasn't feeling like escapism, I guess, which sounds wild, I know, but sometimes I feel like, especially with a book like Fourth Wing that I've been told by multiple people I'll probably get sucked into, I think I was actively avoiding it because I was like, I don't have time to get that heavily like absorbed into a world right now. And then I made the mistake of trying to read it one night. I was like, I'll just read a few pages. I finished it in 24 hours. Don't ask me how my sleep schedule adjusted during that time. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. I don't know. There were quite a few like writing things that bugged me a little bit, but once I like got past those things, I did actually enjoy the story. I thought it was very entertaining, and I'm a sucker for fantasy romance, so yeah, so I'm sure that didn't help the sleep schedule, but I'm trying to get it back on track. And the only reason that I have not let myself take a nap yet is because I told myself that I was going to get this draft 3 plan finished. I told myself that I was going to get myself to a point where I could actually dive in to draft 3 and start editing that and start creating that draft. And I also told myself that I was going to vlog to keep myself accountable. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, I've got a couple things to do today. I would like to clean my room. I probably will let myself take a nap in a few hours. I just want to get a good chunk of stuff done before letting myself take a nap. I want to get my room clean, finish my laundry, just like household stuff like that. Again, I had, like I mentioned in the previous vlog, I had a couple big picture questions that I needed answered from the manuscript critique before I actually like jumped in to the next draft. So I'm going to do those this morning. I also think right now I'm going to sit down and kind of like do some makeup to make myself feel a bit more alive, and I want to film a sit down video for YouTube, so I'm going to like kind of get ready for that a little bit. And then possibly also film a sit down video for Patreon. I do these like monthly coffee catch-ups where basically my patrons ask questions or like suggest topics that they want to hear about. And usually I touch on things like how my writing projects are going, how my poetry collection is selling, things I'm working on, and just kind of like life catch-ups. I might film that today, but I might wait a couple more days to see if people have more questions. But I also wanted to work on another kind of like behind the scenes post also that's going up on my Patreon. So yeah, we've got filming today, we've got writing, or rather prepping to start writing again, and then I just need to like take care of my space. Good morning. I don't know where I left the vlog yesterday, but basically around, I don't know, I worked for a couple hours during the day because mostly yesterday was spent editing and getting like YouTube and Patreon content sorted, which is fair, something that I needed to do and something that I really wanted to, you know, start to get more active on anyways. But I also did a couple hours of web development work. And then last night in the afternoon, I worked for like 5 hours straight on more web development work. So it was a full like 8-hour day yesterday as far as web development went, plus extra stuff. And I did not get any writing in. So, but I think today should be a bit more manageable. It's almost 10 a.m. I've been up since 6:30 and I have been already working on editing again. I have another video going up on Friday, so I got that one finished and it's uploaded and ready to go. Now I'm gonna chill, enjoy my breakfast, and then we're gonna jump into a bit of writing. And I think today I'm gonna do cycling between like writing and web development work and writing and web development work. That's kind of what I'm feeling, so that's the plan. It's the next day again. This whole weekly vlog thing's going well. Honestly, I feel like I don't know if I mentioned it yet. This week feels rough again. I'm so sick of like having bad days. And they're not necessarily, I don't know, they're not necessarily bad days, but I just feel so low energy. I'm gonna keep blaming the weather and hope it's not something else. To-do list today. Sometimes I'll go through phases where I kind of like take a break from to-do lists, because sometimes if I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'll kind of just like pull it back a bit and I'll just focus on getting done like the bare minimum of what I need to get done day to day. And generally I don't need a to-do list for that. I don't want to look at a to-do list. I kind of just do my work and that's it. But then there's also times when I feel like I need to get back into the whole to-do list, and there's just like quite a bit of stuff to keep track of right now, and I think a to-do list would really help. So let's go through it. There's a lot of things on here, but a lot of them are like easy-ish to do. So I have to make the vision board for March. I'm basically gonna sit down and do, actually that's something else that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put like, honestly, I'm gonna put a little star beside things that I wanna start with. I'm feeling like I have a low motivation day again, and in order to kind of like get the dopamine and like get the motivation going and kind of like build momentum, I'm gonna put a star beside each item to start with that are kind of like easy things to get done that will make me feel like I've checked things off the list, and then once I've got the easy things done, I can start moving on to bigger things because I'll have like the momentum, which I think can be kind of counterintuitive for some people. Some people I feel like want to start with the biggest thing to just get it out of the way. But for me, I need to like build up momentum and build up the dopamine to actually start working on the big things. So I'm going to put a star beside things that are easy to start with. So I want to make a vision board for March. I need to do some work for one of my clients, but it'll probably only be a couple hours today. I need to finish updating my Readsy account, which will be fairly easy, so I'll start with that. Set up draft 3 tracker, so that's for Between the Waves. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to use NaNoWriMo, like the organization website, or Pacemaker. I think I might use NaNoWriMo just because Pacemaker has limits to how many projects you can put on there, and I already have multiple projects on there. So I might track with NaNoWriMo, we'll see, but I'm also gonna prioritize that because that's a little small, easy thing. I need to finish the draft 3 questions. I know, I feel like in the previous vlog I said I was nearly done this, and I was, but I'm not quite done it. I'm getting to that point with one of these questions where I just need to make a decision, go with it, and see if it was the right decision. So I want to finish that. I want to clean my room. I have to plan a meal for tonight for my house, water the sprouts, and do therapy. That's all I have so far, which is still quite a bit of stuff, but a lot of it is little, so it will be completely manageable. So I think to start, I'm gonna start with updating the Readsy account, set up Patreon welcome message, and set up draft 3 tracker, because those are easy things to do, and once those things are set up, it feels like I have things like a bit more prepped and ready to go. Let's do that. first 3 things done. I also forgot, but I already had a welcome message on Patreon, so I just forgot it existed, but it's already there. So that one was easy to tick off. I finished updating Readsy, which took longer than I anticipated. It took about an hour when I anticipated it to take like 15 minutes, because I actually went through and ended up updating every project that I have on there, just so that I could put more of my like web design portfolio up, just in case anyone's interested. I set up that I'm going to write or edit 40,000 words in March. Right now with Between the Waves, the goal is to have it be around 80,000 words. So I figure I set March for 40,000 words, and then I can start editing, and I imagine a lot of what I edit is going to be pretty quick, like I'm going to get through it quickly, so 40,000 shouldn't be too bad. And then we're getting into Camp NaNoWriMo, which I'll probably participate in because I'm going to use the website to like track anyways, which will be another 40,000 words of editing. And then ideally by the end of April, we will have draft 3 finished based on all of the new feedback from the editor and my new plan going into draft 3, which I still need to finish, but we're on our way there. So I made some veggie dumplings, which I'm gonna eat now, and then in 10 minutes I have therapy, which is great because I feel like I need it today. And then we're gonna get back into the rest of our day. Happy Thursday. I would like to report that this morning was far more productive than the past couple days as far as writing goes. I got up this morning and my plan was to start my day with writing. This is something that I kind of like chatted with my therapist about yesterday actually, is the fact that I know I have like quite a bit of work that I need to be doing right now as far as like freelancing goes and like supporting myself financially. But at the same time, I am just like struggling with accepting my writing getting shoved on the back burner all the time. Like I'm not willing to let that happen with it anymore. He suggested that because I have mostly freedom with my freelance work, obviously there's going to be meetings here and there, like I have recurring meetings with one of the people that I work for. Obviously those are always going to be there, but the rest of my hours I should be able to schedule in a way that works for me, and I feel like I want to be taking better advantage of that. So she suggested that not only do I front load my work for the week, which I think is actually a great idea, like if I work more from Monday to Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I have like completely off of my web development and web design work. And instead I focus that on writing and also like resting. And honestly, I can totally do that. Like that is within my power, given the type of work that I do, that I should be able to restructure my week like that. So starting next week, we're going to try that. We're also going to start doing writing in the morning as soon as I wake up, or as soon as I wake up and make my coffee and kind of like get ready a little bit. But the plan is to do minimum 10 minutes. 10 minutes is like the bare minimum if I'm really not feeling like it. 30 minutes is the goal for every morning, just to like get me started, because chances are if I start writing 30 minutes, I will write longer. Like if I can manage to get myself to write for 30 minutes, it will like it'll start to flow and I'll be able to write for longer. So like for example, this morning I wrote for just under 2 hours. I wrote for about an hour and 45 minutes, which is wild because I had just like, the initial timer was for half an hour. I was like, I'm gonna write for half an hour, and then I ended up writing over an hour more. So I think that bare minimum 10 minutes when I'm not feeling it, half an hour on an average day with like the ability to do more is gonna be a really good way to get back into consistently writing, which I find is really important for me. And I would also like to report that we had a bit of a breakthrough. You will have seen from the clips this morning that I started to do a word vomit document. This is one of my like favorite ways to get the ideas flowing and to figure out what I'm doing with something and to kind of like work through plot holes, or when I have writer's block in certain situations, is to do a word vomit document, which basically just means I open up a document or I get a piece of paper and handwrite whatever I feel like doing, and I will literally just like set a timer and completely empty my brain and every thought that I have around whatever I'm struggling with so that I can work through it. So it's kind of like a stream of consciousness, but with a focus. So I sat down, started working on this document, and I pretty much figured out the answer to every single question that I needed in my draft 3 plan document. And I am so excited about that because some of them were massive. Like, just to give you a bit of insight into what I was running into. Basically, there are mages in the story, there's magic, and mortals are able to kind of use that magic, but generally they're only able to use it if they're like born with certain inclinations towards certain types of magic. And I was basically running into an issue that was causing like a massive plot hole and kind of just derailing the whole story, and it was around the concept of like having gods, I guess, or like not necessarily all powerful, but more powerful beings than just a regular mage. And all of that was getting very fuddled, and I didn't have the rules around that kind of like tiered hierarchy, I guess, of types of people and types of magic that people can wield. So because I had the idea of having this certain type of like special being or a more powerful being, but I hadn't fleshed it out enough, it was kind of just throwing everything off. But I sat down and I wrote 2,500 words this morning into the word vomit document, and I figured out everything. I mean, there are still situations where I think I'm gonna need to do a little bit of like discovery writing to figure out how the puzzle pieces fit perfectly and to make sure I'm not missing anything or there's no like plot holes that are being left open. But pretty much everything, every single question that I had in this list that I needed to answer before getting started on draft 3 is now answered, and I have so much more structure, and I think I'm ready to jump into draft 3. There is one minor thing that I need to figure out that happens towards the end, but because I'm about to be changing so much in this draft, I'm not gonna like figure that out right now. I'm not gonna put energy into figuring that out right now, because I think that as I write the story with the new decisions and answers that I have, the ending will become clearer than it already is. It's pretty clear. Like, I have a very strong idea and I know certain like plot lines that need to be tied off and how most things are going to end. But there is one tiny little detail that I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to go like one of 3 ways as of right now. But as I write through this draft, I think that will become very clear, because I think it'll have to. I'm also not going to plan too much because I like discovery drafting. I mean, it's not a full discovery draft because I know so much about the story already, but I like discovery writing certain parts of the story, and I know that this will get sorted. So I'm very excited about that. I'm going to end this vlog here so that I can jump into another one, but I'm excited because the next vlog will be me getting into draft 3. I'm probably going to open it up sometime today before March 1st. Sometimes you just have to like sit and think about something and think about it for ages and ages and think about it again, and then like write out all the potential solutions, and then eventually something just pops up that makes the most sense. And I'm really glad that we got there today just in time to start working on draft 3. It's very exciting. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.